Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a 20-minute stretch video to help you improve your back flexibility. So if you are struggling to get some tricks because you are stiff, this video is for you. I am going to use a few props like my yoga wheel and my foam roller, but if you don't have either of them, you can make modifications without. So let's go ahead and sink into a couple of cat-cows. This is a great way to warm up your spine. Make sure you breathe out on the cow and breathe in on the cat right here. So when you arch your back, you're going to expand your core and fill it with oxygen. And then when you round your spine, you're going to compress your core and blow all the air out. Enjoy about 5 reps here. And we'll slowly increase the movement in our spine. Now we're going to sink back into a child's pose, and you're going to inhale, pushing up into an upward facing dog. Repeat this for about 5 reps as well. Make sure to press those thighs off the floor in the upward dog so you can deepen the stretch in your back. The child's pose should feel like a nice reset, just to show your spine a little bit of love while we torture it in today's stretch. Or who knows, maybe it feels good for you guys. But I know for my clients who are really stiff, some of these stretches might actually be fairly uncomfortable. But it's okay, the more you come back to this video, the better your back flexibility will become. Option to hang out on an upward dog or increase the difficulty by doing a couple of toe taps, seeing if you can touch your head. I would recommend squeezing the glutes here just to protect the lower spine. And speaking of, let's go ahead and reset with another child's pose. Going back up into that upward dog and seeing if you can hit your scorpion at the top. If this is too difficult for you today, again, it is absolutely okay. You can just hang out in your child's pose and upward dog position, but just set a goal for yourself. Come back to this video and say, maybe by the end of the month, I'll have that scorpion where my toes touch my head. One trick I do is I kind of start with my knees apart because it makes the scorpion a little bit easier. Now, as you get more flexible, the goal should be to have your knees together to really see how much your back flexibility has improved. Let's go ahead and shake it out in another child's pose before we sink into our upper back. So opening up the shoulders, the scapulas, the front side body, which will help you struggling to have a good back bend or back walkover or front walkover. I think that this mobility is super important. So in this pose, you just want to make sure your hips are right on top of your knees, hands reaching out. And engage your core, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Keeping a strong core will protect your spine in these stretches. Reset. And if you have your yoga wheel, option to increase the puppy pose. If you don't have a yoga wheel, you can use a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use a block, any sort of elevated object. It's just going to help you sink deeper and open up that front side body. So now I'm just rolling my hands out and sinking into a deeper puppy pose, stopping my hips right over my knees, and then sinking back into a child's pose to reset. Even the child's pose should feel like a deeper stretch just because your hands are elevated. It gives you an opportunity to push your armpits a little bit closer to the floor. And if you do get your armpits or your chest to the floor here, you are doing great today, even better than I am. This was a struggle for me. Now I should clarify, I've never been a dancer or anyone that's super crazy flexible like that. But I can definitely help you get the fundamentals of improving your back flexibility. And drills like these are so helpful, especially when you add movement. It's nice to sink into these stretches. I've done a few videos like that where you hold your splits for 2 minutes. I love that stretch. It's actually what helped me get my splits last year. But sometimes doing more active stretching is just what your body needs. So feel free to filter through any of my stretch videos and let me know which ones you guys like the most and want to see more of. I'm still hanging out in this puppy pose position, really just focusing on my breath. Remember, when it comes to flexibility or improving your flexibility, breath work will help you tremendously, really expanding and improving your blood circulation with every inhale. And on every exhale, you are contracting and letting go of everything. That just allows you to sink a little bit deeper into these stretches. All right, I am getting a weight ready for this. I should have mentioned I also had a weight in this video, but again, these are all optional. Yoga wheel is what I use, and I'm gonna put it right above, or right, I guess, behind my scapula. Think about putting it on the upper part of your back. If you have a sports bra on, right there in that sports bra region. And right now I'm just kind of giving my back a little massage before I go into another stretch. First, let's go ahead and do it free weight. So just using your body weight, you want to see if you can open up, reach those arms all the way up and above your ears. If you can touch the floor, you have pretty good scapula mobility, and if not, it's okay. Maybe that'll be one of your goals, because this will absolutely help, again, with those bridges and those walkovers that you may need, or even just better posture. For those of you who slouch, just doing something like this daily, you'll see a huge improvement in your posture. Just give it some time and be consistent with it. I'm just gonna do a few of these, whatever feels good. You can go faster if you'd like, but for me, this is a great pace. I'm breathing in to reach and breathing out to bring my hands back down to the floor. If you did have that weight and you're ready to increase the difficulty a little bit, you can go ahead and hold the dumbbell by the ends, and option to do whatever grip feels better for you. I started with my hands right underneath, but you could also grip the sides. And this is just adding weight to really see if you can open up that front side body by pulling the hands down. You want to think about having your arms somewhat straight. They don't need to be perfectly straight, but the closer to straight they are, the better this stretch will be. I believe I have a slight bend right now. Again, whatever feels best for you is exactly what you should be doing, okay? Lifting up is a nice way to reset and also strengthen the front side body a little bit. And let's just go ahead and do that for a few more reps, seeing if we can go a little bit deeper and deeper each time. Just a few more reps here. If you were going back and forth, great. If you were holding it at the top, great. Again, as long as you were listening to your body, you are doing a fantabulous job. Let's go ahead and move that foam roller out of the way. If you did have that prop, we are just gonna make some space for our next form of movement. Option to do some seated cat-cows, or even a pike stretch if that's what your body is needing. But then we're going to move into some reverse tabletops. From here, you're going to squeeze your glutes to pick up your hips. Option to throw your head back gently, and then you're going to compress your core, drop your hips back, and end in a seated pike stretch. You're just gonna do about 5 reps of these here. Again, squeezing the glutes at the top and relaxing the glutes on the way down. This is a great way to stretch your shoulders and really open up the front side of your hips. After this, we're going to deepen that hip stretch with some side-to-side camel stretches, which I love, but a lot of people find difficult. So if you are ready to step it up a little bit, you're just going to sit on your heels. From there, go ahead and place the left hand on the left heel and open up that right arm. Same thing, right hand to right heel, and lift that left arm up and back. Go ahead and sway for a few reps on each side, squeezing the glutes and pushing the hips forward, engaging the abs, looking at the hand, and opening up that front side body. If you really want to take it to the next level, the most advanced version of camel is having both hands on your heels at the same time and squeezing the glutes to push the hips up. If you need some assistance, as you can see here, my ankles are pointed, so the top of my foot is on the ground, which means I have pretty decent mobility, but option to flex your feet to give you a little bit more height and a little bit more assistance in pushing your hips up and into the air. Breathing in when you come down and breathing out to push up. I'm curious if during any of these stretches, if you feel any uncomfortable tension or any muscle that you would just like to dig deeper into, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to make more videos that will help you guys. Moving on into these Superwoman arch ups, it's a great way to strengthen the back, just to wake it up before we go into a nice little stretch. So you're gonna grab your ankles and think about driving your toes back towards the ground, and that's going to help lift up your chest. Go ahead and relax to reset, and then again, squeeze the glutes, drive the toes down, and see how big of an arch you can create with your back. Again, squeezing the glutes will protect the spine, and even though we're arching the back, engaging the core will protect the spine as well. If that felt good, hopefully you're ready for the next stretch. Of course, always feel free to reset in a nice child's pose. Since we are arching so much, the child's pose is a great counter stretch. Again, just to show your lower back and your spine some love. I know that if you are tight, doing back flexibility stretches for 20 minutes could either feel like the best thing in the world or like I'm trying to really torture you guys, but I promise it's for the greater good for you to improve that back posture and for you to get those skills that you've been working so hard on. Now we're gonna go back to the yoga wheel for this one. Great way, again, to open up the upper part of the back. This stretch could get a little intense here, so when I get to the bridge with this, if you are not in a bridge today, it's okay. Just come back to these seated positions. It should remind you of the stretch that we did in the beginning. So you're just gonna arch and throw your head back, keeping your glutes on the ground. From there, you wanna see if you can reach your elbows to the ground. If not, feel free to add some movement and then push back and get your glutes off the ground to touch your elbows to the floor. For me, this just feels so relaxing because I have the yoga wheel supporting my back and gravity just pulling the rest of my body down. I don't have to do much to feel the stretch, and it just feels very therapeutic, but it might not be the same for everyone. All right, as you can see here, now I'm grabbing the yoga wheel behind me. When I do this, this allows me to open up my armpits a little bit more, so the front or the underneath of my shoulders. And just by extending the legs out straight and squeezing my glutes to push my hips up, I'm also creating a nice stretch in the front of my hips. As you guys know, the hips, oh my goodness, hips are so important. So if you have tension in your hips, the bridge itself will also be difficult. If you are ready for that bridge, you're just going to press your feet into the floor, press your forearms to the ground, squeeze the glutes to pick the hips up as high as possible, and then push the chest forward towards the wall that you are facing. Holding onto the yoga wheel again just allows you to push open a little bit more in those armpits. And if you'd like to increase the difficulty, you guys can go for a straight-legged bridge here. This was even tough for me because I haven't been doing them that much, but thank you guys for inspiring me to make this video because I was like, ooh, I should probably get back to these. I think that straight-legged bridges are so pretty, and if you are a tumbling athlete, having a straight-legged bridge will also help you understand the form that you need in a clean back handspring. I love this stretch, totally optional. If you guys are not here and you want to stay in the regular bridge, go for it. But if you want to deepen the lower back flexibility, try to walk your knees to the floor. So all I did was I pointed my foot extra hard and I got the top of my foot on the floor, where I then placed my shin on the ground and did it for the other side as well. Hold for time, or you could rock back and forth, and whenever you're ready, come on out. Giving yourself a little massage with the yoga wheel, just walking back and forth. Sorry, not walking, rocking back and forth. Not doing much walking in this video. I'm pretty much sitting on my butt most of the time, but hey, we're getting the stretch in, and that's what you guys came here for. Again, a nice pike stretch will be a great counter stretch for your lower back. You'll thank me later with these counter stretches. I'm not the type of coach who will just torture you and not allow you to have some relief, okay? I remember what it was like being stretched in gymnastics, and oh my gosh, I would be in tears. It would hurt so bad, but as soon as I got the counter stretch afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'm alive, I can live, I'm breathing, everything's fine, right? Just gonna go ahead and slide the yoga wheel on back. I think that we're gonna be done with that for the day. There's so many other ways, or so many other objects that you guys could be utilizing for flexibility. I don't really remember the name of them all, but there's this one band that I see a lot of dancers use, and it's great for splits. Even if you're a handstand goer, it's great for helping you get a handstand press. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and hit these low lunges. Again, going into the deep middle back now. So in a low lunge, you want to squeeze your glutes and push your hips forward. From here, you're going to arch and throw your head back as much as possible. And if you want to increase that flexibility, go ahead and once again, try to get your toes to the top of your head. Okay, if you're not here today, you know the vibes. There's no pressure to be. Either hold that deep low lunge or hold the low lunge with your head back, and don't even worry about trying to touch your toes to your head. If you have tight quads, that will be fairly tough. So if you just recently trained legs and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even bend my leg, well, it's probably just because your quads are tight. That being said, let's do the same thing in a left low lunge, where I'm squeezing my glutes and pushing my hips forward. So I should feel a nice stretch in the right front hip. Now throwing my head back to go into a deep arch, resetting and repeating for a few reps just to warm up the back before you go into the toe touch. Remember, when it comes to stretching, you always want to work your way into the deeper stretches. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to hop into the most difficult or the most advanced stretch right away, because it could do a lot more damage than good in the long run. The last thing you want to do is pinch your back or something like that, because then you'll need time to recover. So if your back does feel good, go ahead and hit a few of those toe taps. Again, squeezing the glutes, pushing that right knee into the floor and that right hip forward as you do a heel drive to touch your toes to the top of the head. I'm using my hands for stability. If some of you are more advanced than this, please feel free to use no hands, and that way you're using your core strength and back flexibility at the same time. Go you. I'm all for it. I just, for some reason, hit a half split because it felt really good, and I was rocking back and forth, and that felt really good. So option to do whatever feels good. And then once again, let's reset into a beautiful child's pose. I hope you guys are enjoying these as much as I am, because I find them very therapeutic. Anytime I can lay down and call it a stretch, I call it the lazy girl stretch. So I love child's pose, and I love for post leg day, I love pigeon pose. Pigeon pose on both legs. Oh my gosh, heavenly. Now that we are getting towards the end of this stretch, you should feel pretty prepared to hit a solid bridge. So go ahead and hop up and try your best bridge. If you're there, add a few bridge rocks where you bend and push. And every time you push, again, just try to open up those armpits a little bit more. Whatever wall you're looking towards, try to get your chest as close to that wall as possible. Engaging the glutes and straightening the legs will deepen the stretch in the lower spine as well. And again, if you're not in the bridge today, it's okay. Maybe you're holding your reverse tabletop or your camel pose or any of the poses that we did in today's stretch. Whatever feels best, go ahead and hold that right now. I really hope that this stretch made you feel prepared for a bridge. And if not, please let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to see more, let me know and I'll make them for you. But go ahead and tuck your chin to come on down, and let's finish in one last counter stretch where you're going to give yourself a nice big hug, bringing your knees to your chest. And if you want a little back massage, you can go ahead and do a few of these tuck and rolls. My clients love these. Super simple and an easy way to get back up so you can sit on your butt and transition into another child's pose, because clearly these are my favorite. But again, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's stretch. As we're unwinding here, I'm just going to go ahead and say my goodbyes. Remember, I post every single Monday. I have been this whole year, and I wanted to thank you guys so much for all the support that you have given me. I'm almost at 1,000 subs, and I had no honest goals as to where I wanted to be by the end of the year, but now that you guys have helped me get so close with all your support, let's see if we can reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Come back next Monday. If you guys like this video, be sure to show me some love and send it to a friend. I'll see you then. Bye.